talking about slow feed.
Okay, go live.
I think we're gonna be good. We're gonna focus on.
Okay, we are ready to go.
Good. All right. Looks like we're starting to go live here. Who do we got? What networks do we have on?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we have Freedom Feeders.
Facebook.
Facebook up. Okay. So what we got is we got a couple things going on. We're trying to go live on every network. Again, this is Anthony Gatto with Kensington Protective Products, and you guys over there at the cameras, don't be afraid to like zoom in and really get in our faces, our beautiful faces, and show all these great products. We have wandering dogs here today because Melissa brought all the canines. Anyways, Anthony Gatto from Kensington Protective Products. We are live for the third time. We have with us Melissa Auman. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Melissa Auman. She developed the Freedom Feeder. And we believe she kind of created this whole slow feeding situation, movement. And I wanted to bring her on. Kensington is an exclusive distributor of the Freedom Feeder. And I wanted to bring her on to start to answer a lot of questions about it and let her just get into it and tell you all about her products.
So hi, again, I'm Melissa Auman. I developed the Freedom Feeder in 2007 and started the slow feeding movement in the United States. I have had horses for more than 30 years.
2007.
2007.
And what is it, like 2019?
19.
12 years, and I
12
feel like,
years.
dude, does everyone know about slow feeding?
They should. If they don't, they should. That's for sure. I think a lot more people do know about it now than they used to. We've been kind of pushing this rope for 12 years. And the idea really behind slow feeding is to get horses back to grazing. Horses don't need to be slowed down when they have enough food. I started with the Freedom Feeder mostly out of my own laziness and selfishness and not wanting to waste hay because I've always free-fed my horses, and I had a bunch of wasted hay. I learned about the idea of slow feeding from a friend of mine in Europe, and he had been working on it for quite some time. So I'm bringing it to the U.S. to all the horse owners here. My biggest goal is to get horses back to grazing so that we're preventing colics and all the stall vices are created for not having enough forage available and not being able to graze naturally. They want to chew on the walls, they want to kick the walls, they want to drink too much water, they're angry, they're quite frankly,
This is what horses do.
This is what they do when they don't have enough forage available, because they have acid pouring into an empty stomach 2 hours after they finish a meal.
Oh, so like this is why I say horses destroy things. They say they love you because they're just trying to get your attention because they're bored. So if they're not eating, they're bored, or they're doing all these things. But the acid is actually creating them to be more aggravated.
Yes, they're really just pissed off.
They're pissed off. So they're destroying everything.
So they're destroying everything.
So I remember there was always this like weird thing about slow feeding, and everyone gets down to like dollars and cents, right? And it's like, oh, if I have a slow feeder, I'm going to save money. Are we saying that we're not only going to save money on hay, but we could save money on everything else of the horses around?
Oh, yeah.
And vet bills.
And vet bills. And if you're in a boarding stable and the guys are feeding the horses 3 times a day and they can fill in that and put their hay out once a day, then those guys could be doing something else, like cleaning stalls or planting plants or painting or doing something else besides feeding.
So there's a lot of money saved with this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And not only you're saving, like you said, you're saving vet bills, you're saving destruction on your property, you're saving wasted hay is the biggest one that most people think about and see, because horses will grab the loose hay and throw it all over the place, and then they bed in it, and they have expensive bedding instead of eating it, so that we don't have that money loss.
Awesome. And we're going to get into way more than money loss. I just wanted to bring that up because everyone just gets into the money. Has anyone on the lines on any of the networks used a Freedom Feeder before? Have we got anybody? Yeah.
Do hay nets help stop horses that chew on wood?
Yes. And I'll tell you what.
So you should
I'll redo the question. So the question that we had was, do hay nets stop horses or prevent horses from chewing on wood? A lot of times when horses are wood chewers, they're trying to get something into the stomach to stop the acid from burning. So they're trying to find some way to graze They're trying to satisfy their grazing needs, and they're trying to get something in their stomach to absorb the acids in their stomach. So when you put forage in front of them through the slow feeding nets, then they're satisfying those grazing needs, and they're getting the fiber that they need. Sometimes they need a different kind of fiber, and that's why you're finding them chewing on trees and other kinds of wood products as well. Wood is just fiber, but it really is very, very destructive. So let's give them what they should have, not what they can have.
I think you can.
Any other questions out there? I'm Melissa again with Freedom Feeder. I'm here with Anthony, the owner of Kensington, and we're here working today to share ideas of slow feeding with you and answer any questions that you have. And if anybody has or hasn't had a slow feeder, I can answer the questions on all of them, okay?
Yeah, so yeah, she can answer questions on slow feeding, on Freedom Feeder, but we're gonna get back into a little bit on the product.
What size nets do you offer?
Okay, so we actually have a lot of them back here behind us. This is one of our trailer nets. This will hold 2 flakes. It holds about 12 pounds of hay, so it's really designed for your trailer. Some people will use this to feed a meal with, but you're going to be filling this like 3-4 times a day. Then we have this is actually our day net that we put inside of a traditional hay feeder, hay bag. The day net will hold 4 flakes of hay. That's about 24 pounds. That's enough for a full 24 hours worth of hay. An average 1,000-pound horse will eat about 20 to 24 pounds a day. This one behind me here, this is our extended day net. This will hold 6 flakes of hay, about 60 pounds. I call it the extended day because it's going to last about a weekend, 2 to 2.5 days. Then we have our 3-string bale net over here. This will hold an entire about 125 to 130 pound 3-string bale of hay. This is going to last an average horse 5 to 7 days. So this, between the extended day here, this one behind me, and the full bale net, we're going to start getting the freedom part, where we're not filling nets 5, 6, 7 times a day, or for the weekend. We can just go and allow our horses to have what they need. We're always keeping an eye on them. I'm from Tehachapi. I live in snow country. I know a lot of people out there are having a bunch of snow and weather right now. We fill our nets up the day before, or even a couple of days before, and I don't have to worry about feeding the horses. I get up in the morning, my horses have forage, they have heated waterers, they have what they need. Then I can get out there when the weather clears a little bit, or as we're just going out to work with the horses, but I don't have to get out there first thing in the morning and freeze my neck off.
So is that why you came up with the name Freedom Feeder?
Yeah.
So is the freedom for you?
Yes, and for the horses.
And for the horses. So
Right.
freedom is if you're slow feeding and using a system like this with larger capacity nets,
Right.
it's really the freedom that you've gained.
Correct.
Because you can now live your life and know your horse is satisfied and eating in a much more healthy way.
Right. And a lot of people will say, well, don't you go out and check on your horses? Of course I do. I want to ride. I want to take care of their feet. I want to groom them. I don't want to be having to worry about them not having forage if I can't get home at night because it's snowing, or I want to go out on a date, or I want to go away for the weekend.
Got it. So it's great for freedom, but it also allows you to have a lifestyle.
Yes. Yes.
And that's awesome. And yeah, you as a horse owner, you're always watching the horse. So I mean, it's not like you ever don't have eyes on them.
No, I even have cameras on my horses.
Cameras on. So you talked a lot about all the various sizes, and I like that we touched on, what freedom means. Freedom means freedom to you if you're using these larger capacity nets. Now, the key thing that Melissa did not get into, I want to touch on this, and then I want to talk about a real important issue that I think we need to discuss, which is, how does slow feeding prevent stomach ulcers and colicky and more serious issues? And I want to touch on that, but I want to go into something first because I think it really ties into the freedom. Melissa, these nets all just came out of bag. They're white, they're pretty. I think a lot of people wonder how long these last. And I know I go to a lot of expos and I'm asked a lot of questions about them. And I know I've seen some crazy things. I mean, I've seen people with these things 3 years into it. Now, I have my own reasons why they last, but I'd like to hear them from you. So can you tell us a little bit about the manufacturing, about how long you've had some of these nets, about all those things, just why Because it's not freedom if it falls apart in 3 days.
Right.
It's
And it's a
not
waste
freedom.
of money.
It's a waste of money.
Right.
And we sell top quality products. So I want Melissa to get into like why they last so long. And what I found is the longer you use them, the longer they last. And we're gonna get into, so we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about preventing ulcers. And then we're gonna circle right back around and talk about how to mend the slow feeders you have, if it is a Freedom Feeder or another brand, because you know, we're kind of like Miracle on 34th Street here. Like, I don't care if you don't buy a slow feeder from us, you'll figure out why you should later on, because we have the best and you're gonna buy the other crap sooner than later, and then you can come back to us and realize why you need it. But we just want to tell you everything you know about slow feeding. Freedom Feeder is just the best slow feeder, and this was the originator. And you know what happens with originators? Everybody tries to find a cheaper way to duplicate it, but it's never the same thing.
Right.
So, Melissa, tell me why this material is so great.
Okay, well, first off, this material, this is a woven, knotless
Oh,
material.
come on, we got to zoom
Come
in
up
here,
close,
guys. Let's
zoom
get in here on all these networks.
This is actually one of our 1-inch mesh, so it's very small, very, very small. When you measure, you're actually measuring the bar, so it's each strand. This is an inch, this is an inch, this is an inch. This is a 1 square inch. This is a knotless woven material. It's made on these huge machines, the weaving machines, and you can see.
Where is it made?
They're made here in the USA.
Where?
In the USA.
Oh!
So we're
What
staying
state?
in the
What
USA.
city are they in? What state?
They're made in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yes. And this is a shrimp fishing material. So
Like what? Like what was that movie? Forrest Gump.
Gump.
Like that?
Bubblegum
Oh,
shrimp.
That kind of shrimp.
That should have been the question we're gonna ask. We're gonna have more movie trivia questions in this next time.
So this
Forrest
material,
Gump.
this material is actually designed to drag across the ocean in salt water with sharp things hitting on it. So it's extremely durable, but the biggest key for me is horses are going to be pushing on this material and actually, stand it over here. They actually be pushing on this material and looking for the little bits of hay that are sticking out here. So their faces are working on this material. When you have a knot or a really coarse material that people will buy thinking that it's heavy duty, it really is going to rub the horse's noses raw. Even with this material, it's not the material, but the hay, as they push on it and pluck and search for it, that's the mimicking grazing. Horses will rub their little muzzle hairs down a little bit. So you don't want a coarse material. But a lot of times people will come up and they'll go, this thing won't hold up to my horse, typically mares. And I say, oh, you come back here, let me tell you why it will. Not only is this a very, very durable material, but with use, it actually binds down like a dreadlock. It gets tighter and tighter and tighter. The material will kind of turn a tannish color if you continue. Some people will wash them. Entirely up to you. Go for it. Wash them. They are very washable. Wash them in like a woolite or a material. It's just nylon. It's a nylon material. So you can wash them and they will stay softer. But if you don't wash them, it will bind up and get tighter and a little bit stiffer. They will typically shrink down about 1/4 of an inch on each one, so it kind of self-regulates them to get smaller. But the biggest thing is we want to have a material that is soft, yet extremely durable, because as you guys know, horses are destructive. So as they're pulling on these things and working on it, they're going to be rubbing their faces. So you get what you pay for with a Freedom Feeder. Not only is it the knots, but it's the squares. I make these nets on the square.
Hold on. So somebody said, I would love to have one. Well, I just want to tell you where they're available so you can get one, because, you know, as much as this is great, we're not going to miss a chance to make a sale here, because we need you to use the products so we can continue to do more videos. So if you're looking for a Freedom Feeder, you could get it from a couple places. One, you could find out more information and get it from freedomfeeder.com. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Freedomfeeder.com. Also, I have this awesome handy dandy list of all of our stores that just ordered some Freedom Feeders. We have Mary's Tack in Del Mar. We have Performance Horse Blankets in Colorado. We have Cruise Feed Supply in La Habra, and they just got a bunch of Freedom Feeders. We got San Ynez Feed. We got Tack Room Treasures in East Berlin, Pennsylvania. We have Taqueria in Wellington, Florida. We have Riding Warehouse in San Luis Obispo. We have Western Saddlery in Pleasanton, California. We have Hawthorne Feed in Escondido.
San Luis Rey Hospital.
San
Luis Rey Equine Hospital.
Them two. These people all just got Freedom feeders in last week. So that's great. We also had a couple events we're going to tell you about. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Now, I think you were talking about the durability of it, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me if you spoke on this, because what I tell people, and tell me if I'm lying, it's okay, you could tell me I'm lying on live TV, is what I believe is as the horses eat on the net, if they, all the saliva and the hay and the fibers, and what do you call that little fine stuff on the hay?
Shake.
Shake? Let's call it shake. All that embeds in this.
Not really. No.
No?
No, you're wrong. So it's
But I remember
really
this gets like, it actually gets harder, right? 'Cause I think people like say it's like tissue paper and it's going to tear, but it's like it gets like denser.
It gets much more dense. What happens is this material, it's a weave, like a braid. So as the saliva is in
Can you guys see that?
Dirt, see, watch what
Some
happens.
little tiny people braiding this in the United States somewhere. Oh, it comes on a machine.
It's a machine.
Oh, good, good.
So look what happens as I twist this and I work it. You see it getting tighter. It's like a dreadlock, and it will keep getting tighter and tighter as it gets used. So the material itself binds and gets tighter with saliva and dirt. That's why I say if you wash it, it will stay more soft and pliable, but it actually gets a little bit stronger as it binds and gets that extra stuff in it. So remember, this is designed for the ocean, for fish, okay? So, and one thing, what I was gonna say before is, what's different with this is we make it on the square. The material itself comes off of the machine in a diamond, okay? So like this right here, most nets are made on the diamond. Go ahead, I'm pulling it this way, Anthony.
Okay.
Most of them go like this, so it comes off, like this is a traditional hay net looking thing right here. I have this material turned to be square so that it's easier to fill, it stays open, it doesn't sag. When these nets are empty, it just goes flat. It doesn't get longer, so it's not as dangerous for your horses. But that is one thing. You want to have a tub or a trough underneath the net, or hang it at chest high, the bottom of the net at chest high for your horse. So if you have shoes on your horse, then they don't catch their feet on it if they're paws.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, but along that as well, we have these breakaway carabiners on every one of our nets. This is a safety factor. Let me show you. I'll come to you. This is a safety factor right here. It doesn't have the hook in it, which normally these carabiners will have the clip in here that locks it into place. Without this little, what's it called? This little bracket that goes in here on most normal carabiners. It locks in with a bar.
Oh.
That doesn't happen with these. So if something were to happen, this is a safety thing.
It's a safety one. See, it's made in China, so it's cheap and it will break.
That's the only part of the product that's made in China because
we got a really fun question though. Somebody said how do you wash these?
it? Well, what I personally don't wash mine, but a lot of people do. What you would want to do is make sure that you get all the hay out of it. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess in your washing machine. Or you can put it in a bucket or whatever and slosh it around. I would put it with like a downy or a soft kind of material, detergent. This is just nylon. So however you would wash any other nylon product that you have, you can wash it the same way. I would make sure you get, obviously take the hay out first.
Take the hay out. That's going to be nasty. No, this is great. Okay, cool. I want to talk about something that's real important, and I think we need to people are. Anyways, thank you guys for viewing. We're going to keep on going here. I just want to say thank you for viewing Kensington and Freedom Feeder here for our third time going live. We're figuring this out as we go. We get better by the comments you provide, because otherwise we're just talking. And we don't want to talk. We want to actually be in a conversation with you. So your comments are really great. Before I get into ulcers, who wants to hear about, yes, hold on, I got someone in my ear. I feel like a secret agent. I'm getting a comment here. Yes, Stephanie. Oh my God, Stephanie, that's like a loaded question. Those are my favorite questions. That was Stephanie Baddock asking this question from Tabcom, special, what do we call it? Call out, I don't know. If you shop, you got to check out stateline.com, horse.com, kvvet.com, minitac.com. No, I'm only giving those shots out because Stephanie joined us. If my other dealers joined us, I'd give them special shout outs too. Okay, so Stephanie's question was, how do you know what size net to use on your horse?
That's a great question.
Is that the question? So can
What
you
size mesh?
just quickly show us the
Yes.
3 sizes
Yes.
you have, and
Yes.
then why to use what size and when?
Yes. So give me that one.
Okay.
So this,
No.
yes.
Yes.
So this is the 1-inch mesh. This is tiny. This is actually for smaller muzzled animals, for goats, alpacas, chickens. I've even had some people have their dogs when they eat grass, they go to these too. So we want your smaller muzzled animals on this, or you can use it for meal feeding an insulin resistant horse that you have to stretch their meals out as long as possible. But you want to have them on a larger mesh first, or they get really frustrated, and that's when we have a lot of destruction. The 1.5-inch mesh, this is the optimal size for most horses. This it mimics grazing, it doesn't frustrate them, it allows them to pick and pluck without having that frustration. The 2-inch mesh is this one back here. You can see it's a huge difference. This is a 1.5. Okay, and there's a 2. And then the 2. So the 2-inch mesh is these, the 3 mesh sizes come in all these different capacities. The 2-inch mesh is for really aggressive horses, or for larger muzzled animals. We've had cattle use the 2-inch. We have people that want to feed alfalfa meals in the nets to slow their horses down on their alfalfa meals, which really alfalfa is better for a supplemental nutrition for horses. It's not a forage, it is called a legume. It's like a bean. So if you want to feed alfalfa in the nets, go with the 2-inch mesh because the stem is really hard and it comes through the mesh a little bit easier.
All right, hold on. This person gets a free net because it's the best comment so far. What's her name, Jesse? Leisha Davis. Leisha Davis, tell us what city you're from, or you don't get the free prize. We're not going to stalk you. Come on, Leisha. It's going to be worth it. I'll take love these. Okay, she's engaging. Lisa said she had her net for 7 years.
Yep. We have had people.
But she's going to get a free net because that one lasted, because you could never have enough nets. Oh, Concord, California. I love Concord, California. I haven't been up there for a decade. Yay.
Yay, that's awesome, Lisa.
What
that's
size
great
net do you want, Lisa? You can get the extended day right here. It's actually going to be this one. We'll just remove our tag. Or you can get the 2-flaker.
Or we have a day net in here.
Or we have a day net, which is about half the size of this one.
Yep.
Would you like any of these nets after this? You have to tell us day, extended day.
And what size mesh?
Well,
Oh, there.
all right. Jesse's going to mention you. You'll
We'll
figure
figure
this
that
all out. But that was awesome.
Thank you.
7 years.
Thank
How
you.
long have
That's
you had? What's
wonderful.
the longest net you've had?
As long as we've been in business, 9 years, 10 years.
That is great.
Yeah.
So you were, I think we were talking about the mesh sizes. I
Right.
want to touch on something before we forget.
The ulcers.
I want to touch on ulcers. I really want to, I know this is silly. I know this is fun. Thank you guys for viewing. For more information, you can check out our websites, kensingtonproducts.com or freedomfeeder.com. But I really want to talk, what do you got?
I have 2 Mustangs and a mini horse. Would these be great for them?
Yes.
Yes, but of course you have to give us the 3 most difficult horses for Mustangs and Minis. But we're going to show you why this would be great for them really quickly, and then we're going to get into talking about ulcers and get something really serious.
So
out
the
there.
key with Mustangs and Minis and mules and halflingers, they are all super easy keepers. So we still want the horses, and this will touch on the ulcer thing too. We still want your horses to have forage available all the time. They're going to eat 16 hours a day. 2 hours after they finish a meal, they got full-blown acid pouring into an empty stomach. So the key with these easy keepers is finding a low enough calorie forage, low enough in non-structural carbs. You'll see that term a lot. It's NSC is when you see it typically. You want to have a low enough NSC in your hay, like Bermuda grass and teff hay. A lot of halflinger people, Mustang people actually add bedding straw into it. It's just fiber. So it's not going to have a problem. A lot of people are concerned about feeding Bermuda because it's got a bad rap for impactions. Totally different stories. Apples and oranges when you're feeding through the net. The net forces them to take smaller bites and chew their food. When they're going without food and they go to a big pile of hay that you throw out, they just throw it past the gums and they don't even chew it.
So wouldn't it be true that it's not so much what hay you're feeding. I know that's super important.
Yeah, it
Wouldn't
is.
it be true that just by having the net, even if the horses seem really aggressive, you know, in their eating behaviors, by having the food, it's going to make them more mellowed out
Yes.
because they're not going to get all that acid pouring in their stomach.
Right, right.
So even though you have a horse sometimes that looks like they're just super aggressive, you're like, they're going to tear that up. They destroy everything. They're so difficult. It's like, we get these horses that are so difficult, and then when they get on something like this, we're leaving them of that
Changes
acid
them.
on their stomach. It totally
Completely
mellows them out and
changes them.
changes them.
The other thing, so not only are we getting them more comfortable, but when you transition your horse onto any slow feeder, you want to feed them like you're currently feeding them on the ground or whatever, and put the net up as a supplemental feeder at first. 99% of the horses will go to the net first before they go to loose hay. When you see them going to the net, then don't feed them on the ground anymore. Then they've figured it out. You don't want them to go to a slow feeder when they're hungry and angry already, because they get too frustrated. We want to lower their stress levels, lower their frustrations, and that's lowering the acid in their stomachs as well. So the key with the super easy keepers, get them a lower calorie forage, put bedding straw in it if you need to, so that we're basically reducing the caloric intake. So go ahead.
So we're all over the place.
I
And that's
know.
totally fine. No, that's great. Stacia Stewart asked, what's the best net for her mare? And what's happening is the mare is in the stall most of the time.
Okay.
And it sounds like the horse is such a fast eater that it's coughing almost.
Okay.
It's inhaling the food.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna let me try to answer the question, and you
Okay.
tell me if I'm wrong or right.
Okay.
So if somebody asked me that question, I would tell them maybe the extended day in a 2-inch. And so this is the size, 2-inch, in this size net. And let me tell you why I like that combination. One, if you're new to slow feeding, I like the larger size. A lot of people they're like, I want to slow down my horse. And what do? They go to this little thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second, I had all of this to eat. I had all of this. And then how the hell do I get through this?
Yeah.
So if
frustrating.
you're gonna start slow feeding, I like to start with the largest size opening, especially for my first or second bag. One, you gotta get the
Especially
horses
when they're real
used to it.
aggressive first.
And then another trick that I tell people is when you really do it, sometimes those flakes are compact. So I like to get in there, pull some through. You got to really work
When
this
you
into
put
the
it
horse.
in, when you put it in, open your flake up and soften it.
Do whatever you can. And then why I like this size best is because the name of the company is Freedom Feeder. And what we're going to do is we're going to give freedom to you because you're going to now have enough for 2 days of your horse. So now every time your horse gets aggressive, every time your horse wants to inhale food, they'll always see it there. And we can at least feel confident no matter how fast they eat, they're not eating through this in 24 hours. So they're going to have this food.
They might at first.
Oh, they might at first. We're going to find
You
out.
want to fill it up. You want to rebuild their confidence for them to know that they always have hay available. We're going to satiate them physically first so that they're not hungry. And then mentally, we're going to retrain them to know that they'll never run out of hay again.
Perfect.
And that is the way that they will naturally slow down when you rebuild that trust. And I've had it take up to 3 months to the day for horses to settle in and start walking away.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me this is not a immediate fix? Are you telling me with a horse you can't just buy something and the problem's fixed instantly? Like you have to work on things with a horse?
What a concept.
Oh
Yes,
my
yes, it
God. So we have to retrain. Wait, are we saying that horses have been eating bad? They've been telling me not to curse. Have been eating bad, poorly, and now we have to retrain them for a better way to get back to more of a natural grazing
Yes.
situation?
Yes.
So there's a little bit of a learning curve?
There is a little bit of a learning curve.
What a thought.
Yes. So
Okay.
We do have to take part in our horses' welfare and well-being by helping them.
So I got to touch on this before we go to more questions, and I know we're finally starting to get these questions in here, and we are so excited. Melissa, I know this is a super important thing, but I know people only have short attention spans. Tell me about why this is going to prevent a horse from having stomach ulcers.
Okay, like I touched on it before, but the reason horses get a lot of stomach ulcers is from stress. They're like a car on idle. They never stop producing acid. They're a grazing animal. Dogs, their stomach acids will shut down because they got to hunt for their next meal, for their next kill. Horses are grazers.
For
They eat and eat and
whatever.
eat. They will eat about 16 hours a day. They will actually eat more at night when they have hay. They will eat more when it's cold. They'll eat more when they're working hard. We just have to give them the option to have what they need when they need it. So horses will have ulcers when they finish a meal. 2 hours later, they got full-blown acid pouring into an empty stomach. That's creating ulcers. When they go to shows, when they train,
Wait, so what creates ulcers?
full-blown acid pouring into an empty stomach. Acid pouring into an empty stomach.
Acid pouring into an empty stomach.
Right.
Okay.
So 2 hours after they finish their last meal, their stomach empties because they have real small stomachs and long intestines. So when their little stomach empties, because it's designed to have a little bit of food move through the intestine, little bit of food move. It's always got forage
So
in the
that's
intestine.
how it was before we had horses.
Oh yeah, and people that have pastures, they always, think of it. A horse is out on a 20-acre pasture.
underneath the name? What's the name under?
Pasture in a net.
Oh, so we're bringing.
Slow feeding into the idea of having a pasture in a net. Just like you go to a show, you go to the store, you pick up your purse, the horses pick up their net, and they take their little pasture with them wherever they go. That's my goal.
So it's real simple what causes ulcers, and I'm sure there's a lot, and I'm not a doctor or nor a
There's
vet.
a lot of factors
There's
that
a lot of
play
factors,
into it, but it's acid.
What we're preventing
Yes.
by having some situation like this and always having feed in front of your horse is
Forage.
is the lack of that acid pouring on the stomach.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that I think a lot of misnomer is, and we're gonna get right back to questions, and I'm so excited that you guys are so engaged today, is shoot, I forgot my note. I know it. Oh, I get this all the time. And what happens is I notice people, unless you're going away for the weekend or unless you're busy all day, don't wait for it to be down to the final 10% and refill it.
Right. It actually stresses them out.
Yeah, exactly, because they're eventually going to get used to this. They want to see full bags.
Right.
And as you start to move from a day net to an extended day
Into a full bale.
which I know the first time you guys are viewing this, you're like, what do you mean? I feed
can't put that out.
this thing. You're like, I have a hay bag. What are you talking about? Okay, come on, let's do this. Yeah. What are we talking about this? You know what I mean? That seems crazy, but what I'm going to tell you is when you go away for a weekend and you want to put us in a single stall, and you guys are like mind blown, no one's going to put us in a stall, this is going to give you guys the freedom to go away and know the horses have plenty of food.
And if you have somebody taking care of your horses, they don't have to be putting hay out. You don't have to worry about, I always hear somebody, oh, my feeder didn't show up. Well, and I actually had that happen to me one time. My feeder didn't show up.
When?
This was a couple years ago.
After you had the freedom.
Yeah, we had freedom feeders.
What did you do before and after that experience?
Well, first
So
I
let's
called
go back.
it and said you're fired.
So besides having the right people on your team,
Right.
which is always important. So, okay, I already forgot what we were talking about.
We're talking about putting enough hay out there for them in a full bale and people.
Oh, okay. So, I think I know the answer to this question. So, Melissa found out people were not feeding the horses like they thought they should, which meant refilling the nets. I bet the answer for Melissa was more nets.
Right. And that, actually, for me, what
More
happened?
nets everywhere.
You can store your hay in the barn, or you can store your hay in a net and have stations everywhere for your horses to eat. That also creates movement, so your horses are exercising as they go from net to net. The grass is always greener, right? So they're gonna look, ooh, what's in that one, what's in this one? If you have your horses living in a herd, 2 or more are gathered, that's a herd. So when Alpha comes up, he says, I want this feeder. The other one says, no problem, I'll go over to the other one. The horses fight over food and sex.
Food, okay. All right, we're not going to touch on that
We're
one.
not gonna get enough food out there,
I
and you don't
want
have the
to
fighting.
I want to show this product real quick, and then does anyone have any questions about slow feeding that we touched on?
We had one about the goats and dogs or something. So,
Oh God, goats. We got a fun one. We got dogs. I would say dogs can't use it.
yeah, they can.
Dogs can use
You ever
it.
see your dogs go out and eat the grass?
I didn't think that was good for dogs.
It's when their stomachs are upset, they'll go out and they'll eat some grass. And dogs eat veggies. They eat
So how
fruits,
would you feed a dog in a freedom feeder?
just put it out there. I've had people send me pictures of their dogs eating on the nets because they don't have grass
What
available.
are you going to put in the net? Grass?
Grass, just
Okay.
regular hay.
So if you
They share the hay that the horses are eating. So
Wait a
the
second.
goats.
Grass is hay.
Grass is hay.
Hay is dried out grass.
Yes.
Ah, do you guys all know that? Did everybody know that, or say somebody said they didn't know that? Okay, everybody did that. I
Everybody
thought
did
that was
that
a fun one. Okay. I thought that was like, I wish I had that rubber hand like doing. Okay. So,
So goats, chickens, my chickens will eat on the nets. We'll put some alfalfa.
what about goats?
Goats, well, they're grazers as well. They're, what are they called? A different name for them. I forgot what they were called, but I have 2 goats. I love them to pieces. They have a different kind of digestive system, more like a cow, but they are grazers also. So we have our nets out for the horses everywhere. The goats are out with the horses, the chickens are out with the horses, and everybody will be sharing at the same time because all grazing animals can use the nets.
So, okay, I got another use for a freedom feeder. I don't have horses, but I get to do all this fun stuff. Now, I think not having horses is the ultimate freedom to make the best products in the world because I have no tunnel vision. So I had to find a use for myself for these nets. And I don't have children yet either, but we're working on that. Is I tell all my friends that have kids, use these for stuffed animals. Toys and stuffed animals. It's such an awesome way to keep everything together so you don't have all the stuffed animals and toys all over the place. I know.
Another great one is people put them in the, like string them between the seats of their car to put your jackets and stuff in the back seat of your car so your jackets aren't flinging all over the car. And it also blocks the kids from the car from coming up front.
Awesome. No, that's a good, yeah. What other uses? Does anybody on the line have a fun use that they've used the freedom feeders for that's not to actually feed an animal? I mean, if you fed a human, that'd be a good story.
Well, people are looking for that one.
All right, we're not going to touch on that one. That might be intermittent fasting. So, if you're using a freedom feeder currently, what we like to do, and one of the recommendations that we do, is a lot of people already own hay bags. So this is the Kensington hay bag, and this one actually has a rim in it, so it's easy to load for you. That's interesting. Hold on, we're going to answer that question. So what's going to happen is, what we have in here is we have the day net, and what you could simply do is you could take your day net and you could put it inside this. Now you're going to get a lot of great use, because one of the things we didn't talk about is, you know what happens to the person that buys one of these and they get a hole in it? We didn't talk about mending.
Right.
Why this is a great solution is, one, if a hole ever does happen, you can literally keep on turning the bat net. So you have so much use, and you're getting so much use out of your net, especially for a starting horse that is slow feeding.
You want to repair the hole as quickly as possible. There's a great video on my website under how to.
So tell me about your website. So there's a video. So you're telling me if I had a slow feeder that got screwed up in some way, not that my horse could ever destroy anything, right? Because they're all perfect.
Right.
Your website has what information, and how do you get to that website?
On freedomfeeder.com.
Okay.
On one of the top bars is a how-to. So under that how-to, there's a repair and warranty video. And on the repair, it's going to show you how to do a good repair. You want to repair these meshes. You tie a knot and then make a bar with your cord. It actually comes with a little starter repair. And then tie another knot.
Go buy more at Walmart.
So you want to make a knot, put a piece of string, make another knot, and then a bar, and then make another knot. A lot of times people will try and just bind it all together like this. Your net gets smaller and smaller and smaller. You want to recreate the mesh, okay? But you want to repair those holes as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the horse is teaching himself to pull holes and getting self-rewarded. So if you repair the hole as fast as possible, then they're like, oh, that hole was here a little bit ago. Where'd it go? So we want to get that repaired for them. Okay? And I think this is a great idea with this. A lot of people have these old hay bags available in their barns or whatever, but you can make it into a slow feeder and have a portable grazing pasture and a net using a product that you already have.
Yeah, so if you have, if you already own a hay bag, get a slow feeder. If you already own a slow feeder, get a hay bag. And our hay bags come in these 6 colors. This is a dog bed, not a hay bag. This is our lavender mint, which is over here. Look at this fun color. Come on, camera crew, run with me. Lavender mint, deluxe red, deluxe black. I wish freedom feeders came in so many fun colors, but it's easy for the consumer. You only have one choice. Just buy the right product and get it in white. Black ice plaid, Kentucky blue, and deluxe hunter. So those are all the Kensington colors for any of your Kensington products. And again, this is the hay bag with the slow feeder tied into it. These are our director's chairs. And we are at Kensington right now doing this video. What was the gal's name, Jesse? Stephanie? Stacia? Okay, so I think your question, there's more to get into than we can address right now, and we really want to answer your question. So if you're still viewing this, just call our office, 909-469-1240, and anybody with any questions about this further that we weren't able to answer today, and we're going to keep on going. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Call our office. Melissa's going to be here for another 30 minutes. So after our video, just call the office. You can ask her directly her best advice.
They can call my cell phone too.
Oh, what's your cell phone?
My cell phone is the phone number that's
Pay
on
attention.
freedomfeeder.com. So if you don't get it, it's on freedomfeeder.com. It's 909-260-7555. And I answer my phone unless I'm on or under a horse, because I trim horses also. So my phone is implanted on me like everybody else's. We did have a question for somebody that was having problems with the frustration of filling nets. So I wanted to share a couple of things for you with that. One, with this net, with the extended day, you can leave it hanging like this and bring your hay to it on a hand cart. There's a video on the website also, how to fill it, but you just take it like this so it's nice, it stays open. You put your flakes down into the net, okay? And then you're gonna put as much hay in there as you can, and then you take the carabiner and bring it over the top as far as possible so that the horses don't cheat into the top. The other way that this net can be set up is you can take the cords that come with it for either hanging, or they're long enough to lace it through where you can actually make this into a drawstring bag like this, okay? I have had some people that have asked me for a frame. So this frame is actually available only on freedomfeeder.com. It's our Freedom Frame. This frame is very, very cool. You put your net on it. It comes off of the this bar up here so that you can put your net on it.
What size nets fit the frame?
The day net, the extended day, and a full bale net will fit this frame. So this bar here actually ends up being, it can hang on the wall like this, and it comes down. It comes with all the hardware so that you can throw it in there, and then it closes up against the top of the gate latch. It can also fit in your feed door window. You can kind of see the picture right here. See the picture right here? This is where you open your feed door. The frame is on the inside of the window. You throw the hay in it like a mail slot, okay? And then you can close the door, and that closes the net. A lot of people will also, you can actually put it on a 3-rail fence like this, okay? And then you'll throw the hay in from the back side. So it has a lot of really cool uses. Another way that people will set these up, you can put this net like this, and you strap it. It's a little confusing with this one behind it, but you're gonna hook it to itself. This clip just took a dive. Remember, these clips are designed to break with a lot of pressure. So you can actually set it up like this. This is kind of hard to do with this setup. But anyway, you put one side, open it like this. Okay, let's do it like this here. Sorry. Okay. And you can strap it to your fencing. And then the horse is on the wall side. We're on the inside, and you're going to throw your hay in there like a mail slot for that way as well. And then you don't have to open and close nets. There's a lot of different pictures on our Freedom Feeder Facebook and Instagram pages where people are sending and posting how they have their net set up, because it's really extremely versatile. It's only limited by your imagination. If you have problems figuring out how to set up your net, send me an email to info@freedomfeeder.com with how you normally feed your horse, and I can usually figure out a way for you to set it up that works for you, okay? I'm here for you guys. I do all the customer service along with the gals here at Kensington. So I can, and I've literally transitioned thousands of horses to slow feeding and back to grazing through using Freedom Feeders. So I've got one of those kind of minds that I put it in there, and at night it just keeps working, so I can help you get things set up for a way that works for you. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm here for you.
So, if you want more information about the Freedom Feeders or Kensington in general, if you want to give us your mailing address, we will mail you out a catalog on those products, and we will delete your address after we take it down. We have somebody watching this all right now, so as soon as you post, we'll delete your post. Or if you add a email address, we can add you to our mailing list. So we will delete those things, but if you give us the information, we will do that. But or you can message us, or you can message Freedom Feeder. So if you want to message Kensington, message Kensington at info@kensingtonproducts.com, or what is yours? Info at
freedomfeeder.com.
Oh my God! You can get a hold of almost any company in the world with info at. Oh, what an idea. Okay. So, thank you guys for viewing. We were on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on Kensington's channel. We were on Freedom Feeders, Facebook.
How to say.
We were on Freedom Feeders Facebook channel, but we weren't on their Instagram this time. But next time we get Freedom Feeder live with them, we will. And maybe Melissa might even do some of her own live videos. I think she'd like
Yeah,
this.
we've been doing them. We've been doing them on our
But
Facebook page.
definitely check out Freedom Feeder's Instagram, which is Freedom Feeder Nets. One thing I want to say before we go away is I want to show you what we're going to be talking about next week, real quick. So come on over
Thanks,
here,
you guys.
Marco. Oh, don't worry, we're coming back for a bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to be talking next week about Naughty Horse. Depending on the weather, now we're in Southern California and it's sunny and nice 90% of the time. But not today, so we have no idea if it's going to be raining. If it's going to be raining, we're going to do it in the office. If it's a beautiful day like it normally is, we're going to go out to the Naughty Horse location, and she's actually going to show you the Naughty Horse, tell you about the apricot oil, and actually put it in some horses and do some demonstrations. So that's going to be real interesting. But let's come back here. Come on, Marco. We've got our whole team here. Turn around, show them who's joining us here. Who do we got? We got Vanessa. We got Damaris. Darius. Now spin it around, Marco. Show them yourself. This is Marco. All right. Now come back. All right. Thank you for joining us. Episode 3, Kensington and Freedom Feeder. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now make sure we save these.
Facebook, Instagram. It says it can't save.
I'm trying to do this one.
Facebook.